The Runit Dome nuclear coffin, which could become a terrible nuclear disaster, is a massive concrete dome with a diameter of 115 meters and a capacity of 83,000 cubic meters. It serves as a burial site for radioactive waste generated during the United States nuclear weapons testing during the Cold War era. A total of 67 tests were conducted here, including thermonuclear bombs and Castle Bravo, the most powerful bomb ever detonated by the US, with destructive power 1,000 times greater than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Over the decades, numerous cracks have appeared in the concrete, and rising sea levels are causing significant concern for the people of the Marshall Islands. If a leak occurs, radioactive materials could seep into the ocean or nearby lagoon, forcing local residents to evacuate their homes once again. This is a very painful and strange beauty ritual, foot binding. This ritual originated in medieval times and served as a standard to evaluate a woman. Little girls would have their feet bound starting from the ages of 3 to 5. Firstly, the feet were soaked in herbal water and warm animal blood to prevent decay, and the toenails were also completely cut off. Then, each foot would be broken and tightly wrapped with thick cloth strips. This process was repeated every 2 days until the feet resembled a lotus bud shape. There were many cases of infection and tissue decay, leading to death. Even successful cases left significant complications in adulthood. This ritual has been abolished, but it still remains a haunting memory for modern-day girls. Just pour a little out, and this liquid will self-drain the remaining portion. This is self-flowing polyethylene glycol. For water, the intermolecular forces are very weak, so when molecules flow downward, they cannot drag other molecules along without gravity. On the other hand, polyethylene glycol is a polymer with long and intertwined molecular chains. When a portion of the liquid is poured out, the molecules that have flowed downward can pull the remaining molecules in the container along until everything is empty. This liquid will also flow in reverse if you place a rotating object with high rotational speed into it. In areas of brackish water and mangrove forests in tropical coastal regions, there is a unique species of fish, the mudskipper. These fishes have evolved to be able to survive on land, even climbing trees. The biological characteristic of mudskippers often involves exposing their bodies above the water surface to seek food. As a result, the protruding bodies of these mudskippers become targets for mosquito attacks. Furthermore, the habitat of mudskippers is often in riverine areas, which are suitable environments for mosquito breeding. Therefore, swarms of mosquitoes spare no living creatures on land. Being bitten by mosquitoes causes the mudskippers to feel extremely uncomfortable. However, they only have 2 fins to move around and have no way to repel the mosquito species. When you pour water into a dry cup of tea, you can see some of the tea leaves flowing upwards. Or when you put a drop of soap in the water, the soap will quickly spread around. This is the Marangoni effect, discovered in the 19th century by the Italian scientist Carlo Marangoni. The effect occurs because of the difference in surface tension. The molecules tend to move from the region of low surface tension to the region of high surface tension, promoting the flow of the liquid. Specifically, when adding soap to water, because the surface tension of the soap is smaller than that of water, the soap molecules tend to move towards the side with the higher surface tension, thereby spreading around. The Marangoni effect can be easily seen in real life like an oil slick on the sea, or a tears of wine. The blood of the horseshoe crab species is one of the most valuable resources in the world, with prices reaching up to $60,000 per gallon. Their blood has a distinct blue color due to its high copper content. It contains a special substance called lol. Previously, scientists had no way of knowing whether vaccines or medical devices were contaminated with bacteria, so they would inject the vaccines into rabbits and wait for reactions. In 1970, the lol compound was discovered. Just a few drops of lol on a medical device or vaccine would immediately coat any gram-negative bacteria it encountered with a slimy layer. Due to the limited number of horseshoe crabs in the world, the extraction of their blood needs to be tightly controlled. Only a maximum of 30% of their blood is harvested, and the horseshoe crab individuals are then cared for and returned to the sea within 72 hours. The iron tube quickly gets heated when placed inside a coil of copper wire, even reaching the melting temperature, while the temperature of the copper coil itself remains relatively low. This is the principle of induction heating, a process of heating conductive materials through the phenomenon of electromagnetic induction. With an alternating current, the induction coil generates a varying magnetic field. When a conductive material is placed within this field, Foucault currents are induced in the material. These currents, as they move, create resistance within the conductive material, generating heat. The continuous collision of these currents produces thermal energy, heating up the conductive material. Because this is a non-contact heating process, the thermal energy is actually generated within the conductive material itself. Therefore, its efficiency can reach up to 97%, which is significantly superior to other heating methods. It is also because of this principle that induction cooktops can operate with an efficiency of up to 90%.